All right, and you are looking live into the beautiful, iconic, historic Delaware Park paddock, home of all the trees. They planted 3 new trees out there. It's Delaware Derby year, so we got some new trees out there for a big year. We're fast and firm today as we're 69 minutes out for race 1. Temperatures in the 70s today, maybe a little chance of showers. We hope to keep them away so we keep a nice, beautiful, pristine turf course. Big day today. It's our inaugural Delaware Derby Day. That's one of 5 stake races we have this afternoon. The All Stakes Pick 5 kicks off in race 5, and we have the top 3-year-olds in the country here for the Delaware Derby. That's a $200,000 stake. And then the Grade 3 Delaware Oaks for the top 3-year-old fillies in the country. We have the Cape Hen Lopin with a bunch of nice turf horses in there, the Alapocus and the Obeah. A big afternoon. Let's show you everything else that's going on today. Fun for the whole family. Bring the whole group out. Take them out there to the Grove, out by the paddock. We're going to have a t-shirt and hat giveaway after race 6. We'll have a Best Delaware themed Derby and Bonnet hat contest, 2 p.m. by the paddock entrance. Also by the paddock entrance, K.O. Sims, an artist, will be down there. You can get yourself or your horse painted down by the paddock today. We're going to have a bunch of other food and activities out there in the Grove for the whole family. Pony rides out there. You can donate to Alex's Lemonade Stand by the Del Cap. So lots of stuff. Big day. How you doing today, Josh?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
Doing well, as I just clobbered that thing. So that's a good start to the show. Hopefully my mic's still on.
Don't worry, it is.
Is the inquiry light up yet?
No, that's broken.
All right. All right, let's get right to it here. We have a big show to get to. Race 1's going to kick off the popular early pick 5. There we go. All right, race 1 will kick off the early pick 5. We'll have a strong handle in the early pick 5. Let's show the field here for race 1. Paco Lopez, he had another 2-win day yesterday. He's riding in the opener. Scratch to 6 here out of race 1. I have an early pick 5 ticket that's going to start in race 1. Let's take a look at that ticket. It's a $64 play for my early pick 4. Race 1, I go 4 deep with the 1, 2, 3 in the 8. The 2, More Ransom's going to be one of the favorites here in race 1. That's my top pick. Race 2, I go 4 deep there in that big turf event. I go 3, 4, 7, 9. My top pick in race 2 is the 7 Chevy Man, a recent Sharp maiden winner at Laurel. He's 8-1 there in race 2. So maybe I get a price home in the second. Race 3, I just go with the 2 and the 5. Race 4, I think, starts the all Billy Mott pick 4. That starts in race 4. I like him in races 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I'll single on Bill Mott there in that nice allowance race in race 4 as the 13 Simulate comes off the layoff and makes his 3-year-old debut today with Junior Alvarado aboard. Then in race 5, the Alapocus, I have Bill Mott on top there with the 1 Damon's Mound, but I also used the 3, 4, and the 6. So a $64 play. My early pick 5 starts in race 1. Let's take a look here at the field. Let's talk about race 1. We're going a flat mile. Main track is fast. The turf is firm this afternoon. It's a claiming 10,000 filly mares 3 and up. Haven't won a race in 6 months. Never won 4. And I go with the 2 on top here. Josh Moore Ransom, Jamie Ness. He's our leading trainer with 21 wins at the meet. He gets Jamie Rod. He has 21 wins at the meet. Jamie Rod and Ness are hitting at a solid 41% together here at Delaware. And this 6-year-old mare by Runaway and Hyde had a nice big win 2 starts ago at Parks. And I think she was just in too tough last out in that allowance race. Yes, she was the favorite, but she didn't fire her best effort that day. She gets a class relief today. This is a real nice spot for the 2 More Ransom.
Yeah, not only does the 6-year-old drop, but the horse also is the lone speed of the race, so stands on the 2 More Ransom in here. The thing I thought about this race last night, Stan, this is a very inconsistent group. So I took a chance and I went with number 7, Conquest Dancer. I think this horse is the class of the race. But Stan, I don't know what to do with that last race at Laurel. In against Tougher and was soundly defeated on that afternoon.
Yeah, she has a lot of early speed, and she's getting in light with the 7-pound apprentice, Cesar Gonzalez, who's won a couple races at the meet. So you'll get a nice price here on Conquest Dancer. I used the 1, Sandpiper Memories, also a little bit, and the 3, Carol Girl is a 5-time winner here at Delaware Park.
And I sprinkled in the 9, Make Me Believe. The horse hasn't won in 2 years, and I don't like the outside gate at this particular distance this afternoon. But that horse has Oaklawn Park form, so like I said, this is a grab bag of the first race, but you got to beat Stan's Top Selection, the class dropper and the speed. That is number 2, more ransom in here.
All right, so race 1 kicks off that popular early pick 5. They'll put a bunch of money, I think, in all the pick 5s this afternoon. We have 4. Early pick 5 starts race 1. The race 3 pick 5 starts in race 3. The all stakes pick 5 starts race 5. And then the late pick 5 will start race 6. Let's take a look here at the second race. We kick off the early pick 4 here in race 2. We're going a mile and a 16th on the turf course. Here's the field for the second. Nice 45,000 starter allowance condition, 3-year-olds and upward. And I go with a recent sharp maiden winner at Laurel, coming off the layoff. Chevy Man, a 4-year-old son of hard spun, ran lights out late May down at Laurel in a maiden 45,000. That was first off the claim for trainer McLean Hendricks. That horse went off the favorite that day, so he must have been training well. The horse ran well when Hendricks claimed the horse last November, so looks like a real nice claim. Chevy Man came out running as a 4-year-old. He attracts Joel Rosario to ride, so I make the 7 Chevy Man my top pick here in race 2.
Yeah, Chevy Man is so consistent in here, and it's funny you mentioned McLean Hendricks, the trainer. Over the last 365 days, he's only had 5 entries, and 3 of them have been winners. Stan and I have the same selections. They've just kind of been jumbled up. I went with number 4 in here, Warning Signs. I love the fact that Paco rides, and Paco won 2 races here yesterday at Delaware Park. This horse is a closer. I think this horse is a class, and last time out at Churchill Downs, Stan was in a $127,000 allowance, lost by 6 at 64-1, but it's going to be a much welcome class relief today off of a 7-2 morning line.
Yeah, nice colt by Bernardini. That was a nice maiden score last summer, going long on the turf at Indiana. And then the horse has been running against tough customers in Kentucky and Indiana. Second race back this year. Kelsey Danner does well here at Delaware, and we know how well Paco Lopez is doing. So we both like the 7 in the 4 here in race 2. The 3 Hall Monitor with Jamie Rodriguez aboard for Miguel Clement. This horse has run a couple of big races on the turf already.
And this horse has a massive late kick. This horse is going to be near the back of the pack. And we saw a race yesterday here with Grand Motion where the horse came from absolutely out of nowhere. This is one of those horses. Hall Monitor could be rallying home late if the pace is too hot for this starter optional claimer.
All right, so race 2, the first of 4 big fields on the grass this afternoon. Let's take a look here at race 3. Race 3, we're going 5.5 furlongs on the main track, 25,000 starter allowance, optional claiming 25,000 for 3-year-olds and upwards. Scratch the 1. Josh, you have a pick 5 ticket that starts here in race 3. Let's check out your ticket and see how you play it.
In this race here, I went 4 deep on this starter optional claiming. I went with the 2, 3, 5, and 8 in here. I really like the 2, but we'll get to that in a moment. And then I'm going to take a chance and key a couple of horses. Race 4, I'm going to key number 1, Twain. Disclaimer for handicappers out there, I do not like keying horses on the turf. With that being said, we've seen a lot of closers on the turf here at Delaware Park, even though it's been limited use because of all the rains we've had recently. In the 5th race, I think there's too much pace, and if there is, the stalker of the race is Full Moon Madness. His race in Grade 2 and Grade 3 company, that's my key. If I'm lucky enough to get through 3 legs at a $32 price, I went 4 deep in the 6th and 4 deep in the 7th.
All right, so there's your ticket, a very affordable play. You have a couple singles on your ticket. Let's take a look here at race 3. My top pick in this spot's going to be Jamie Rodriguez on the 5, Furmantown from the Carlos Mencia barn. Nice 3-year-old colt by Warfront with a real sharp winner last out late May up at Penn National in a maiden special weight. He was one of the favorites that day. He got right to the front. He was 7 in front, turning for home, and just cruised home with a nice 68 by her speed figure. There's some other speed in here, but you get Jamie Rodriguez on this horse, so I'll take a shot with the 5, Furmantown, looking for back-to-back wins.
This horse here needs the outright leader. I don't think the horse is going to win. With that being said, number 7, Lex, is going to try to press the pace, but when you get our top jockey up, always take a look at the 5, Furmantown. Personally, I don't put too much stock in Central Pennsylvania races because of the weaker competition up there, but speed figure-wise, Stan, this horse is on fire. I have this horse 3rd. I decided to go with the number 2, Penn Zero. As we touched on the pick 5, the reason why I like the 2, I think the horse is a closer, but man, this horse is really win shy. Only 1 for 17 with 5 seconds and 4 thirds. And Stan, that's why I spread in this race on the pick 5.
The Glaceras barn's having a big week. They've won 4 races this week. So Steve Glaceras, a hot barn. He attracts Irad Ortiz Jr. on the 2 Ben's Hero. I like that horse. I use him in my exacta. The 4 Boyd's Band came back and ran a sharp race late May here on a sloppy track at Delaware. Had a nice maiden score on a fast track last year.
Yeah, the trainer's going to look for its first win here in the last 365 days. The one I did not know what to do with was number 3, Tojo's Mojo. Paco's aboard, was in a $150,000 stakes race down in Virginia, 3 starts back. Today you can buy the horse for $25,000. That's a concern, but it's going to be a doozy of a speed race here, Stan, for race number 3.
All right, and Tojo's Mojo, first time gelding there in race 3. All right, let's turn the page here. Race 4 starts the all Bill Mott pick 4 here in race 4. Here's the field. A mile and a 16th on the turf. Nice first level allowance. Optional claiming $75,000 for 3-year-olds and upward. And it does start off a middle pick 4. And I like Bill Mott on top here with the 13 Simulate. A nice homebred for Claiborne Farm and Adele Dilschneider. Bill Mott's trained a bunch of nice horses for these connections over the year. And this colt bred well by Kitten's Joy out of a Warfront mare. And just needed that turf sprint and debut last summer. But then his second start, he put it all together. That was a tough maiden special weight at Saratoga going long on the turf. He got in front early and kept on going. That was a key race. Both the second and third place finisher would come out of that race and win. Simulates had the whole winter and spring off. He's making his 3-year-old debut today. He gets first time Lasix. He gets Junior Alvarado. I'm not worried about the 13 hole coming out of that chute. By the time they come onto the wire for the first time, I think Junior will have a nice forwardly placed position here on the 13 Simulate.
And that's a very good point because we already have 2 scratches in this race. If it doesn't rain, which is not in the forecast, the 13 will actually go over 4 post positions. So with that being said, the horse is off a layoff. The horse was only facing maiden special weight, but those were a salty group. Stan went the 13. I went with number 1, Twain, only because of that last race. The horse was 13-1, closed to whatever pace that there is. I love the inside post position. Weston Hamilton comes in the ride. I'm going to try to beat Stan's horse with the 1, but this is one of those other races, Stan. This is a delicious start to the pick 4 where there could be multiple chances with clean trips today.
Madison Myers, she won a big stake race last year here at Delaware with Desvio, who's in the Cape Henlopen later on, so it could be a big day for Madison Myers. Yeah, that's a nice horse by Kitten's Joy. He hasn't done anything wrong yet. He's come out running. That was a big buyer speed figure last out in the Jimmy Murphy, so I used the 1 Twain in my exacta. The 11 Light Mood, the French bred gelding here for Grand Motion, making his USA debut. This horse gets first time Lasix today. Gets Irad aboard, and this horse could be a real nice horse for Grand Motion.
We'll see if the horse can take to the U.S. form. The last 4 starts were over in France and hasn't seen the races since February. So as long as the horse takes to the Delaware surface here today with Irad Ortiz, this horse could probably run all day, but again, we'll have to find out. I also thought Stan, the 14 fully authorized, was a long shot play. This horse has kept better company, but again, does draw the outside position here today.
Yeah, you know, real big second against Allowance Company at Tampa 2 starts ago. Mike Deeney already with a nice win here at the meet. So nice allowance race there, and race 4 to kick off the middle pick 4. Let's get a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll start with the stakes action. The all stakes pick 5 starts in race 5, the Alapocus. We'll talk about that right after this. Okay, welcome back. Race 5 kicks off the all stakes pick 5, and if a single unique ticket winner hits the all stakes pick 5, it's guaranteed to pay at least $25,000. But Josh, with this being an all stakes pick 5, I expect the pool to be a lot bigger than $25,000.
I think the pool's going to easily exceed over a 6 figures here today. We had a great handle yesterday. I think we can parlay that in today. And Stan, I see your all stakes pick 5 ticket on the screen now.
There it is, a little pricey, but I think it's going to pay well today. $96 ticket. It starts with the Alapocus. I go 4 deep here with the 1, 3, 4, 6. Bill Mott's my top pick. The 1, Damon's Mound, came back and was a sharp winner at Gulfstream last January, coming off the layoff. This is a real nice horse. He won the Grade 2 Gallant Bob as a 3-year-old, so he has the back class. He has Bill Mott and Junior Alvarado, so I have the 1 on top here in race 5, but the 3, 4, and 6 are also very nice. In race 6, the Obeah, I go with the 1, 5, 6, 8. The 1, Saitama, just got beat a nose in the Delaware Oaks last year. She's my top pick. The 5 and 6 are nice, though. And the 8, Malibu Beauty with Paco Lopez aboard, my big price there in race 6. Race 7, the 1.5 mile, Cape Henlopen on the turf. I single on the 3K Army, the Chilean-bred 5-year-old for Bill Mott with Junior Alvarado. Aboard this horse, a multiple Grade 1 winner a couple years ago in his home country of Chile. Came back early May up at Aqueduct in the Grade 2 Fort Marcy. A good third up there behind Deterministic. I butchered that name, but that horse came back and won a Grade 1. So I single on the 3K Army in race 7. Race 8, the inaugural running of the Delaware Derby. I go 4 deep with the 1, 3, 6, 8. The 8, Surfside Moon with Junior Alvarado aboard's my top pick there in the Delaware Derby. And then race 9, the Grade 3 Delaware Oaks. I like the top 3 finishers from the Grade 2 Black Eyed Susan, the 1, 4, and the 5. The 1, Kinsey Queen, back on a fast track today, hopefully, with Junior Alvarado aboard. She's 6 to 1, my price play of the day. So hopefully I get a couple nice prices sprinkled in there on that all stakes pick 5. Let's take a look here at race 5. The Alapocus going 6 furlongs. We have a video spotlight we want to get right to. Here's Bucciarino, a real sharp winner last out up at Monmouth in the Mr. Prospector. They went 109 and 2 with Paco Lopez aboard. Paco back aboard today.
Yeah, Bucciarino in here. I mean, this horse has just been in the winner's circle and a model of consistency. Stand since August 24th. The horse has had 3 wins over the last 4 starts. This horse is going to face a little bit of competition in terms of speed between Sunny Breeze and Counter Spy, but I'll tell you what, the horse is on its A game and a 6-time winner from 12 starts, already earning over $300,000 in the bank.
All right, so we both like the 6 here. You have the 4 on top, Full Moon Madness for Michelle Nevin, Irad Ortiz Jr., and this horse has been keeping some stiff company up in New York.
And that's exactly why this is going to be my best play of the day. I think this horse is going to get speed to chase in here. I like the 6 furlong distance. If you look at the competition, as Stan mentioned, a couple of Grade 3s, a Grade 2 sprinkled in. Last couple of races, hasn't been hitting the top 3, only lost by 2, but if this horse can stalk and pounce when everything's said and done, let's see what Michelle Nevin can do with Irad Ortiz Jr. on Full Moon Madness in the 5th of the day.
And the Sunny Breeze from the Ned Allard barn. I like that horse coming off the layoff late May here at Delaware Park. The horse got hooked by a 4.5 speed horse that day. Maybe he didn't like the track or something, but Ned said the horse came out of the race great. He says the horse is doing super. He likes Sunny Breeze a little bit today in the Alapocus with Jamie Rodriguez aboard. And this horse just got beat a neck in the Grade 2 Gallant Bob at Parks last September.
And looking at trainer stats, 32 starts over the last 365 days. That equates to 25% winners for Mr. Allard. This is going to be a cheeky little race for the 5th running of the Alpoca Stakes. Like Stan said, I went with the 4 in here, and of course Stan went with the 1, Damon's Mound.
All right, let's take a look here at race 6. Race 6 will kick off the late pick 5. Here's the field for the Obeah, $150,000 stake for the filly mares 3 and up, going a mile and a 16th on the main track. Scratch the 3 and the 4. The 5, Gun Song, is going to be the morning line favorite here in the Obeah. Josh, you have a late pick 5 ticket that starts race 6. Let's check it out, see how you play it.
Yeah, I got a key in the middle part of it, but I'm going to go 4 deep in the Obeah Stakes. I went with the 1, 5, 6, and 7 in here. I think in the seventh race, I went with a 3-4-7-9. That's correct. And then the eighth race, I really like number 3, Admiral Dennison here. The horse was in the Grade 1 Bluegrass, only lost by 3. Will be closing in late. Is the distance too short? We'll find out just after 4:20 p.m. And then I went 4x2 to close it out and stand. This ticket here is double than my first ticket, which means it's worth $64.
All right, so late pick 5 starts in race 6, $150,000 Obeya for the filly and mares. We have a video spotlight here on the 2, Ragtime Bell, who gets Jamie Rodriguez to ride today for trainer Brittany Russell. The barn's red hot right now, and here's a big win last September where this mare won by 12 in a big allowance race.
Yeah, Ragtime Bell just crushed them on that particular day, and you can see on the replay, the jockey gave a couple of reminders, and just those legs were stretched out and everybody was decimated behind. It was such a great effort, and then of course the horse went to Keeneland in his previous start.
Oh yeah, it's coming off the layoff today. No Lasix today for Ragtime Bell. No Lasix for anybody in the stake races, so we'll see how she does with that. Sidamar just got beat a nose. She looked like a winner in the Delaware Oaks last year, but Power Squeeze, a real nice filly. She won the Oaks, and Power Squeeze has turned out to be a real nice horse. This is a nice homebred here for Judd Mont, and I think Billy Mont has this 4-year-old filly ready to fire a big effort. She's been firing bullets up there at the Oklahoma. She'll get a ground-saving trip, so I have the 1 Sidamara on top coming off the layoff here.
Yeah, that was the Grade 1 Cotillion, and that Delaware Oaks race is replayed in my head 1,000 times. And as a track announcer who's called 40,000 races, I will tell you this. In that particular race, when the announcer says the horse first, like I said, Sidamar and Power Squeeze in a photo, in real time, I thought Sidamar got the head bob. That was how dramatic that stretch run was. That horse is 22-1 last time out. Nobody was beating Torpedo Anna at Parks. So I think this horse is primed to pass everyone here in race 6 at Delaware Park here today. Sidamar gets the services of Junior Alvarado.
All right, so we both have a cold 1-5 here. The 5 Gun Song, the morning line favorite, the Hall of Famer Johnny V aboard for Mark Henning, and this horse has run some big races, just got beat a neck by Torpedo Anna in the Cotillion last September.
Yeah, and I definitely like the fact that this horse can stalk whatever pace that there is, and you talk about the class. This one was also in the Cotillion. It was in the Grade 1 Acorn about this time last year at Saratoga. This horse has the class, and this trainer's winning 20% of the time in stakes race competition. This is going to be a dandy of a stakes race for race 6 today.
All right, so race 6 will kick off the final pick 5 of the day. Let's turn the page here. Race 7, the $200,000 Cape Henlopen, going 1.5 miles on the firm turf course. Scratch to 2, Masterpiece, who was 7-2, second choice of the 2, a big late scratch. We have a video spotlight of the 5, Desvio, coming out of the Grade 3 dinner party at Pimlico. Desvio, a 4-year-old son of Yoshida, a big third in the dinner party with a wide trip. This horse won the 1 3/8 Kent Stakes here on the Delaware turf last July. Ran a 94 here at Pimlico last out in the dinner party. This is a real nice 4-year-old for trainer Madison Myers.
Yeah, this race was a good stretch play here for Desvio. Looking at the race, I thought the horse ran a lights-out race. Standing was almost 50-1 that day, going 1 1/8 miles. The question I have for this horse here today, is there going to be any chance of regression compared to the last 7 races this horse had before?
All right, so I have the 5 in my exacta. The 3, K Army, is going to be my best bet of the day from the Billy Mott barn. This 5-year-old, a multiple Grade 1 winner on the turf over in Chile. Came off the long layoff early May in the Grade 2 Fort Marcy at Aqueduct, and a big third behind a next out Grade 1 winner. So I go with the 3, K Army, as my best bet of the day in the Cape Henlopen.
Yeah, 3 starts ago, this horse faced off against 15 others, something you do not see here in the States. Now, the last race out was going a little shorter, and it was the layoff line from March until May. So stands on to something. The horse just needed a trip over the track. It's a little bit of easier competition today. A lot of these horses don't like to win in their last 6 to 8 starts. I ended up going with number 4, Dripping Gold. I think this one might need a race over the track. We'll find out. This is only the 3rd start since September, but I'll tell you what, if this horse can stalk, I think this horse is going to be right there, and Mr. McGahey's winning at 14% off of a 6-month layoff. with a little bit of reservation in a wide open race, and I do mean it is wide open. I'm going to go with the 4, Dripping Golden here.
Dripping Gold, a 6-year-old son of Lemon Drop Kid, one of my favorite sires, trained by the Hall of Famer. So I like that horse. The 1 Vote No for Kelsey Danner. This horse just marched to a real nice victory. Last out, first off the claim against Second Level Allowance Company at Indiana. Gets Paco today. So I think the 1 Vote No could be dangerous at a big price here in the Cape and Lopin.
And this one is really rounding into form too. The last 3 starts has seen a couple of races on the all-weather Turfway, won by, 3 1/4 lengths at 10-1. The other horse stand I thought was a long shot play is 7, Lord Edgar Stark, but this horse closes in from out of nowhere the last couple of starts. Nobody's loved this horse the last 3 starts, including a 62 and 63-1 toe price on starts 2 and 3 back. Like I said, this is going to be a fun race to watch in the 7th race of the day.
All right, nice big field there in race 7. That kicks off the final pick 4 of the day. Race 8, the big feature, one of the co-features of the day, the inaugural running of the $200,000 Delaware Derby for top 3-year-olds going a mile in a 16th. Scratch to 2 Academy, scratch to 4 National Law, and scratch to 10 Late Night Call. But still a nice field here. The 10, that was a late. Okay, that's the filly. She's out. All right, so 3 scratches, so still a bit nice 8-horse field in the Delaware Derby. Let's talk about our top picks here. I like the 8 Surfside Moon on top here. You used the 8 in your exact. This horse by Malibu Moon for Chucky Lawrence has been running against some strong company. That was a big second in the Withers last February. Ran well in the Tessio 2 back, and an okay 4th last out in the Peter Pan. Gets Junior Alvarado today. This horse trains at Delaware. I like that. He's coming into the Derby today off a real sharp 47-4 bullet workout on June 8th. So I'll take a shot here with the 8 Surfside Moon at a decent price.
The trainer's looking for his first win in the last 365 starts in stakes race competition from a sample size of 8. As Stan pointed out, though, that last race, the Peter Pan, if you watch the replay of that race, the horse had to steady badly and still only lost by 3 lengths. I think this horse is on the improve. I got this horse second. Stan and I have swapped our first and second positions here. I went with Emerald Dennis. Stan, that was a marvelous race. The Bluegrass, I was actually at Keeneland for that race, and that horse was flying from out of nowhere. 2 starts back, Stan, and 4 starts back, this horse has encountered all kinds of trouble at the start. If the 8 gets beat, I think it's by the 3, Admiral Dennis, for trainer Brad Cox.
All right, now his last couple races, he hasn't broken the best. Hopefully he breaks better today. If he does, he's a nice horse, absolutely. Luan Machado, a top rider in Kentucky, comes to ride Admiral Dennis. So, all right, so I have an 8-3, you have a 3-8. You also like the 7, who I don't use here, La Halligan from the Greg Compton barn with Johnny V aboard, a nice maiden special weight winner last out at Churchill.
Yeah, this horse is going to be stepping up in class. Won last time as the favorite against maiden special weight. The horse is very versatile. Last race was only 2.5 lengths off the lead. The debut race, the horse was on the lead, so this horse is going up in class. My 3rd selection, Stan, is the 11 Omaha, and man, this one has been keeping some toasty company as well.
Yeah, this horse ran well earlier this year. Didn't run too well in the Wood last out, but he's been freshened up since then. The Mike Gorin barn's doing well. So is jockey Raul Mena. They do well together here at Delaware Park. So he was talented earlier. I think he can make amends for that Wood Memorial effort and get back to his best stride today. I didn't use him, but I like him. Barbadian Runner I use in my super. This horse, a nice win in the Jersey Derby last out up at Monmouth, a 3-time winner this year as a 3-year-old. Trainer Henry Walters has done a nice job with the 1 Barbadian Runner, Forrest Boyce up to ride. He'll get a nice trip and maybe be right there, get a piece of it at the end.
Yeah, unfortunately, that race only had 2 other horses in the race over a sloppy track that day. The more I look at Stan's number 6 horse in here, Kentucky Outlaw, man, this horse can do no wrong. 3 wins out of 4 starts, and you talk about a trainer angle. Felisa Dunn is winning 37% of the time when horses win its last start, and guess what? Kentucky Outlaw won its last start.
Yeah, and the Dunn barn, a perfect 2 for 2 this week. They're hitting at 39% for the year, so a high win percentage barn there with the 6 Kentucky Outlaw with Paco Lopez aboard. So nice edition of the inaugural running of the Delaware Derby. Let's turn the page here. The other co-feature of the day, the Grade 3 Delaware Oaks for $300,000. Top 3-year-old fillies in the country going a mile and a 16th on the main track. No scratches here in the Grade 3 Delaware Oaks. Let's take a video spotlight from the Grade 2 Black-Eyed Susan. We have Margie's Intention, Paris Lily, and Kinsey Queen coming out of the Black-Eyed Susan. Here's the spotlight on Kinsey Queen, who had a wide rally to get up for a good third behind Margie's Intention and Paris Lily. I think Kinsey Queen's better on a fast track where she won a nice allowance race 2 back at Oaklawn with an 83 buyer speed figure. A race like that, I think she can be right there and maybe turn the tables on Margie's Intention and Paris Lily today.
Absolutely. Stan Salter just read between the lines on this one. The horse with that sloppy track effort only lost by 2. 2 of those horses are in this race here. But Stan, I'll tell you what, there is too much pace in this race, and Kinsey Queen sets up for that, and that is why Stan picked this one as his price play of the day.
Your price play, my price play. So Basinski made the horse the horse that everybody loves.
Yep.
On X. So lots of people like Kinsey Queen. She'll be a nice price at 6-1. Let's talk about the favorites here. Margie's Intention. She's done nothing wrong. A nice honor AP filly here for Brad Cox. Machado will ride. She's never been off the board. So this is a nice filly. Just continues to keep getting better and better.
Absolutely. Down at the fairgrounds, the horse broke its maiden in the slop. That was back in January. And like Stan said, ever since that race, the numbers are getting better. She's getting more consistent. Again, there's too much speed in this race for my liking. And I think Margie's Intention and the one horse are the only 2 I used on my pick 5.
Paris Lily, the Godolphin homebred for Brendan Walsh. How about Brendan Walsh? He's red hot this week, too, with 5 wins from 17 starters. And this horse, she's done nothing wrong. She has a ton of early speed with Rosario aboard, so she'll likely be in front. They'll be trying to catch Paris Lily down the backstretch and into the far turn.
The last couple of starts for the 5-horse Paris Lilies come against 8 others, and the horse has won for fun the last couple of starts. Correction. Won the last start and then ran second. But Stan, those came over sloppy tracks. So this is going to be a very fast track today. We haven't had rain in a while. But again, anytime you see a Godolphin horse here, you put a red circle around the number. I don't care who it is. When they come here, they mean it because they want to win. I have this horse in my top 4. And Stan, you also like the 6 in here.
Yeah, Cassiar for Shug McGahee. She's won 2 of 3 by City of Light. That was a nice maiden score. And then maybe the Gulfstream Oaks a little too tough. That was only her second start down there. But she had a nice allowance win last out at Aqueduct. It just looks like the Hall of Famer Shug McGahee has this filly on the improve, and she'll be a decent price here in the Oaks.
Yeah, this is the 4th different track for this horse. Went from Tampa to Gulfstream to Belmont and Aqueduct. The trainer, Shug McGahee, winning 31% of the time when horses win his last start. This is going to be a fantastic race, but like I said, in my mind, there's too much speed, and we'll see what happens for the biggest race of the day, the Grade 3 Delaware Oaks.
All right, nice 9-horse field in there. One more race. Let's talk about race 10, a nice big field on the turf to wrap things up. Maiden special weight going a mile and a 16th for 3-year-olds and upward. Here's the field. Scratch the 6. Still a big field here in race 10. My top pick's going to be one of the favorites here, the 4, Richard Fernman from the Grand Motion Barn. Irad rides this 3-year-old by Into Mischief. This horse, a big effort in his lone turf stride. That was a maiden special weight at Laurel on a good turf course going a mile. He was in front turning for home. Got a little good late there in the final strides, but he gets first-time blinkers today. Hopefully that can help him with that finishing punch.
Yeah, this horse has faded the last few starts, but again, with those added additions of blinkers, as Dan just mentioned, I think this 4 has an interesting jockey change, gets one of the top jockeys in the nation. We saw a Grand Motion win here yesterday. I went with the number 1, Hopes Alive, just because this is the pace factor to me, and I like the inside rail. But again, the 1-horse Hopes Alive is going to have some company in here on the front end stand.
I like the 1. The 5 I use as well, Flamingo Star for Jorge Duarte Jr., Sonny Leone on this 4-year-old by Forced to Pass. He's a first-time gelding today. He ran a big race on the Delaware turf last year in a maiden special weight. The show horse in that race, Round Top, would come back to win. That's a nice horse. I think this horse will be better this year, making his 4-year-old debut as a first-time gelding today.
Yeah, this horse hasn't seen the track in about 50 weeks. We'll find out if that speed can carry on. Stan, I have a huge long shot for the Superfecta. I went with the 7, sounds like fun. If there is any kind of pace to this race, which is really hard to judge when these horses don't have a lot of past performance lines, I think this one is going to be flying home late at a price coming in from Aqueduct.
Yeah, I gave that horse a couple looks, and you also like the 8 Vintage Year from the Jack Fisher barn. He's done this before with horses running over jumps, and he runs them on the flat, and they win. Sean Clancy owns this horse. Forest Boyce will ride. He ran a big race before he started his jump career.
Absolutely. Those races at Turfway back in 2022 on the synthetic surfaces was always right there. This horse, I called its win down at Fox Hill on April the 26th down in Virginia, and this horse just stopped right off the pace. Dynamite Dan, who came back, the third place horse to win its next race. This is another one with a little bit of a long shot price, and this trainer wins 29% in this category. This is going to be a doozy of a race to close out that final pick 5 of the day.
Nice big field on the turf to wrap it all up. That's it. We're out of time. But we have a special video to talk about here. Good luck to you today.
Thank you, Stan. Good luck to you, and of course, good luck to everyone here. We are so glad you're with Delaware Park on one of our biggest days of the year.
Let's just talk about our best bet price play real quick. Here's my best bet. K Army in the Cape and Lope and 5-2 for Billy Mott. Kinsey Queen, my price play in the Oaks at 6-1. Josh, let's see your best bet and price play. All right, you have Full Moon Madness in race 5, 2-1. And price play, you have Twain in race 4 at 6-1.
Yeah, the number 4, correction, race 4, number 1, Twain, again, is going to need a little bit of racing luck. And in race 5, I went with the 4 based on I think there's too much pace. But no matter what, if you hit a few of these races today, Stan, you will be making some money because of these full fields later on this afternoon.
All right, 20 years ago, we were treated to a special story about Alex's Lemonade Stand, which raises money for childhood cancer. Of course, the Fleet Alex helped that out 20 years ago when he won the Preakness and Belmont Stakes. They helped support Alex's Lemonade Stand. Alex's Lemonade Stand is going to be here today by the Del Cap Room. You can donate to them. Please help out support research for childhood cancer. So Alex's Lemonade Stand will be here today, and they will be by the Del Cap Room. We have a special video to show you right now about Alex's Lemonade Stand.
Is taking a ball out of a scrappy team below the turn, and the Fleet Alex champion Rose almost fell out of the saddle. A dramatic occurrence at the top of the stretch.
I always say there's like moments in the history of Alex's Lemonade Stand where I feel like Alex is, I always say like she's working her magic still.
I was convinced we were going down. You have to feel like somebody was looking out for you that day, just to survive.
In early 2005, right after we started the foundation, we heard from a man named Chuck Sackney. He said, we've been donating anonymously from the winnings of our horse, the Fleet Alex. He's going to the Kentucky Derby, and this could be huge for Alex's Lemonade Stand.
When the owner of the horse reached out to us, Alex had passed away a couple months before. We didn't know what she started, how it would, get the momentum to continue without her being sort of the spokesperson.
I raise money
For what?
cancer research.
We ended up going to the Kentucky Derby and setting up a lemonade stand there.
A Fleet Alex, it's a 3-horse photo finish, and on the wire, it's Giacomo.
And he came in third. And that was still great.
The story was just all over the news that this horse was racing to support a childhood cancer charity, and we were getting so many donations and so much support from people who saw the story on the news and from people who saw it on ESPN.
And we went to the Preakness. We had a huge lemonade stand, and people there were just like throwing tickets in, that they were betting on a Fleet Alex to win, and they would put them in there.
130th Preakness, and they're off.
As he came into the final stretch, he was coming from behind. Him and another horse like clipped each other.
But a Fleet Alex is taking a ball out of a scrappy team below the turn, and the Fleet Alex champion Rose almost fell out of the saddle.
He stumbled and started to fall, and the jockey started to fall off.
A dramatic occurrence at the top of the stretch.
The entire place went, there was like a moment, like a half a second of silence.
But he popped back up and he ran even faster.
And they're coming down to the finish, and in dramatic style, a Fleet Alex, who almost fell at the top of the stretch, has won the Preakness by 5 lengths. An up-and-coming jockey had a really anxious moment there at the top of the stretch.
Do you believe in guardian angels?
Yeah, somebody pulled my butt out of the fire on that one. I think little Alex helped me on that one.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty touching. Had he gotten thrown in the middle of a race, he could have gotten seriously hurt.
We have all these winning tickets in the donation bucket. We raised a ton of money, thousands, tens of thousands of dollars. So by the time the Belmont came around, it happened to be on Alex's stand day, the day we had her first stand without her.
The horse did it again, and it was a big day where people were setting up lemonade stands all over the country and around the world.
And a Fleet Alex just ran right by Giacomo Langevin, standing still. A Fleet Alex opening up with a tremendous burst of energy.
People that followed horse racing became just a huge chunk of our donors at that time.
So a Fleet Alex was a critical part of continuing to take Alex's voice to a very different audience. And it's probably one of the single most magical things that happened in a year when we thought, how are we going to get anybody's attention now that Alex isn't here anymore? The Fleet Alex did it. It was amazing. It was so much fun.
Compelling